A disciple becomes like his rabbi.
In which way can we become like Jesus?
We will see. What is your first impression as you look at this picture?
The one is copying the other. The younger one wants to be like the older man in dress, in the way he holds his hands, and in his body posture.
It is quite natural to want to be like the person you admire most.
That is why teenagers have heroes and often imitate them in hairstyle, the clothes they wear, and the way they speak and act.
At theological seminary, we noticed that most students unconsciously imitated the professor they patterned their ministry on. The rabbi-disciple model used this natural tendency.
A disciple becomes like his rabbi by following him. A disciple imitates the rabbi.
As a disciple follows, he becomes more and more like Jesus.
He begins to think like Jesus, reacts to others like Jesus, and think about situations in life like Jesus would.
Paul describes this as being transformed unto the likeness of Christ.
Jesus said in Luke 6:40, "A disciple is not above his teacher, but everyone, when he is fully trained, will be like his teacher."
In 1 Peter 2:21, "For to this you have been called, because Christ also suffered for you, leaving you an example, so that you might follow in his steps."
Paul says in Philippians 2 verse 4 and 5, "Each of you should look not only to your own interests, but also to the interests of others. Your attitude should be the same as that of Christ Jesus."
Romans 8:28, "And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose, for those whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, in order that he might be the firstborn among many brothers." Tom Ascott wrote,
The goal of every Christian is to become like Christ. All of our efforts at discipleship must keep this goal in mind. We want to help people grow in Christ-likeness.
So where did Jesus begin with his disciples? With his worldview, with his way of thinking about everything, about what is really important in life, about a life of blessing.
We could call this the mind of Christ.
He began with this word, blessed. What would a true blessing be?
Money, a car, a house, good health, a good life.
To understand Jesus' way of thinking is to get to know him. In his view, it is not the rich who are blessed. It is the poor in spirit, those who are not full of their own importance.
It is not those who have a life of fun who are blessed, but those who are mourning.
It just looks as if the people who force their will on others are blessed and gets ahead in life. It really is me who are blessed.
A true blessing is not all you can eat and drink, but to be thirsty and hungry for what is right.
The cruel superior who will step on you seems to have it all, but true blessing is being merciful.
Corrupt manipulators seems to get their way all the time, but from Jesus' viewpoint, the pure in heart are the blessed.
Aggressive people seems to be winners, but peacemakers carry God's favor in a special way.
It seems wonderful to have freedom to do whatever you want. The persecuted knows true blessing.
It is not the famous celebrities who are blessed. Those insulted for following Jesus know what real blessing is.
Upside down, the other way round.
This passage is well known as the Beatitudes, the one portion of Jesus' teaching that people from different backgrounds and even religions regard as more than exceptional, brilliant, and an example that every human being should follow.
If we want to get to understand the mind of Christ, how Jesus thought, this is where we should start. Why this passage? Not because just about everybody thinks it is profound and great, but because this is where Jesus himself started.
That is Jesus' own summary of his attitude to life, people, and his Father in heaven. But isn't it too much difficult to understand and to obey? Except
if you turn it upside down and read it from the perspective of someone who lives in poverty, is persecuted, and is rejected by everybody. Some would say that the only way to understand the Beatitudes is to turn it on its head and read it from the viewpoint of a street child in one of the big mega cities like Delhi, Lagos, or Johannesburg. Then you will know intuitively what the message is. It is not the powerful, the important people, the manipulators, and those who have it all and know how to stand on their rights, those that look from above that will understand the kingdom, but those who look from below upwards, who will truly understand what it is to receive God's blessing.
this is an upside-down theology and an upside-down spirituality. But if you learn how to look from the bottom upwards, then the gospel becomes good news and the kingdom a practical reality. Later on, Paul would call this grace. To be a disciple of Jesus and to show something of his character, you will have to begin looking upside down at others and yourself. This is the first step in following Jesus.
Read Matthew 5, verse 3 to 11. Waiting on the Spirit to open your understanding. You can even stop the video here and read the passage in your own Bible a few times until the Spirit opens your heart and you begin to hear Jesus' voice.
Matthew 5, verse 3 to 11. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth.
Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God.
Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me.
Now it is time for discussion. First question. How would your life look like if you turn it upside down? How would your life look like from the position of helplessness, devastation, being a loser, someone who gave up hope for life itself? Some of you may experience exactly that right now. Second question. What does this passage say about the way you have to look at life if you want to see God's blessing? You should just about be able to make a list highlighting a keyword in every verse. Third question. Open the ears of your heart. What does the Lord say about your life, your dreams, and your plans? Fourth question. Do you get the message of the kingdom as good news from this upside down position yet?
To be a disciple of Jesus and to show something of his character, you will have to begin looking upside down at others and yourself. This is the next step in following Jesus.
We will see during the rest of this workshop how Jesus applies this way of thinking in practical ways that anybody can understand.
If you are a disciple following Jesus, this is what should fill your thoughts from now on.
If you are making disciples for Jesus, this is where you should begin.
Are you ready for the next step?